Warning: Alberta's independence surge, a crisis you can't afford to ignore. Hey everyone, John here, and thanks for coming back to the channel. It's the early hours of July 1st, Canada Day. For many Canadians, it's a day of celebration, national pride, and community gatherings. But here in Alberta, that pride is being challenged. For an increasing number of Albertans, this isn't a day of unity. Instead, it's becoming a moment of reflection, frustration, and even disillusionment. More and more people are asking, does Alberta still belong in Canada, or is it time for something entirely new? What was once a fringe idea is quickly becoming a mainstream conversation. That brings us to what's developing right now. Thomas Lukaszuk, a former progressive conservative deputy premier, has proposed a referendum question asking Albertans whether the province should remain in Canada. The phrasing sounds harmless enough. Do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? But don't be fooled by its simplicity. This question is politically loaded and strategically timed. It's not just about unity or symbolism. It's about power, direction, and the future identity of Alberta. And it demands our immediate attention. The mechanics of this proposal matter. To even get the referendum question on a ballot, the petition organizers need to gather nearly 300,000 signatures, a daunting task. But after a legal rule change, that number will drop significantly to around 177,000. That makes it much easier to trigger the referendum, and it's part of what makes this situation urgent. The timing isn't accidental. This was designed to capitalize on current dissatisfaction and momentum. Whether you're for or against independence, the opportunity to shape the outcome is very real and approaching fast. The biggest concern right now is that many Albertans aren't being told the full truth about what a no vote actually means. If the vote is structured in a way where a yes means we stay and a no means we go, then this is effectively a referendum on independence. But that hasn't been clearly explained in any mainstream discussions so far. Many voters might approach this vote casually, not realizing that their choice could be interpreted as a desire to leave Confederation. This kind of ambiguity can be dangerous in any democracy, especially when emotions are running high and trust in government is low. What's more troubling is that this question has been presented without clearly defining what each outcome means for Albertans. That's not how referendums should work. A legitimate referendum must offer clarity and transparency. If people are going to cast votes that influence the political direction of an entire province, they need to know exactly what they're voting for or against. Confusing or misleading framing does a disservice to everyone involved, regardless of political leaning. This should concern not only independent supporters, but every Albertan who values democratic integrity. Now, for groups like the Alberta Prosperity Project and legal voices such as Jeff Rath, this moment represents both a challenge and a massive opportunity. They must quickly investigate and communicate exactly what the consequences of a no vote would be. If it indeed means moving toward independence, then supporters of that cause should treat this referendum as a defining moment. They'll need to rally resources, prepare public outreach, and make sure that their message is crystal clear. A no vote could be Alberta's step toward full autonomy. This isn't just about lawn signs and t-shirts. It's about mobilizing people who have never voted on anything this serious before. Clarity in messaging will be crucial. Independence groups must seize this chance to unify their base and attract new supporters who are fed up with the current state of affairs. But this will also bring intense scrutiny and political resistance. The federal government and other pro-Canada voices will not sit quietly. Expect national figures, media pundits, and partisan campaigns to flood the airwaves and social media with Stay United narratives. The coming months could resemble an unofficial provincial election, and both sides will be under pressure to perform. Interestingly, the independence movement in Alberta has intentionally avoided naming a central leader, opting instead for a more decentralized, grassroots approach. While that strategy may have served them in the early stages, it may now be a limitation. In moments of political acceleration, people often look for leadership, a face that represents their ideals and hopes. Whether it's an existing public figure or someone new to the political scene, finding that voice could dramatically strengthen the movement. Unity and visibility are essential now more than ever. To that end, I've got an upcoming interview with Jeff Rath, scheduled for this Wednesday. I'll be pressing him on all the hard questions. What does a no vote legally mean? How can the Alberta Prosperity Project take advantage of this political moment without misleading the public? And most importantly, what's the plan if the referendum moves forward? You'll want to tune in for that video Thursday morning. It could answer a lot of your burning questions and give us all a clearer picture of what lies ahead. Meanwhile, the Alberta Prosperity Project isn't just focused on slogans. They're putting together a fully costed, detailed blueprint for Alberta independence. That report is expected to be released Thursday as well, offering concrete ideas on how an independent Alberta would function, from tax collection to healthcare, trade, and resource management. Later that evening, a rally in Edmonton will bring supporters and curious citizens together. I'll be attending that rally to hear firsthand from the public, gather interviews, and bring you raw, unfiltered insights. Let me be clear. Whether you support Alberta staying in Canada or leaving to chart its own course, now is not the time for complacency. This referendum, depending on how it unfolds, could trigger the most significant political shift Alberta has ever experienced. We owe it to ourselves and future generations to engage with this issue honestly and thoughtfully. Ignoring it would be the worst mistake we could make. Regardless of how you plan to vote, the worst outcome is one shaped by misinformation or apathy. Let's stay involved, informed, and respectful. Share your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you're hearing different perspectives in your community. I'll include more info and key links in the video description so you can dig deeper on your own. And if you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss updates on this developing story. We're just getting started, and Alberta's future may depend on what happens next.